HR consultant. Today we are going to talk about how to communicate effectively for healthy living. See, when you talk about health, what is that we talk about generally? Physical health. We talk about, I have arthritis, I have blood pressure, I have migraine. So we talk about all these issues and we try to react to it so that the pain, the migraine, the blood pressure becomes normal. It's all reactive mode of living that we have been taught, and we are living it and we are enjoying it. I don't know whether we are enjoying it or not, but we are living it at least. But if you really go to see, your physical being is controlled by somewhere else, There is a control of your behavior at your mental level, and beyond that at your being level, who you are. So it calls in for power which we derive from other than us. And second is, everything is made of energy. Every atom that you take has electron, neutron and proton, and the combination and permutation of it makes what you are. Move out 2 oxygen, add 2 oxygen, it changes. So we have to realize one thing, on one hand, that it is behavior that we're talking about is controlled by some other place, and it's all about the deeper sense in you regarding your feeling. What are you feeling? What are you thinking? These are a deep down which goes into your mind, very deep to go inside. But however, we'll try to looking for. On the other hand, we are all individual with individual traits. No one is like anyone else. We are all child of Almighty, and He has made us perfect. The other day I was giving a talk in Delhi, and suddenly someone asked a very wonderful question. Between the womb and the tomb, by the time you are born till the time you die, there is only 2 things: laughter when you come in the world, misery when you are planning to go back from the world. Old age, child not listening, problem in office, pension not there, Traveling in a train is also impossible, all those things. So I said, yeah, well, fine. They said, how do we make our life, God, we are all born to be naturally successful and happy. See, I am making a statement, I can be criticized a lot, but like you have 2 sons or 2 kids, you will make sure that both of them get almost the same treatment. You will probably try to give them the best of the school, the best of the education, the best of everything. Similarly, God has given us the best. And from the best, we use our own kind of behavior, we use our own kind of interaction, and we create less than best for us. Having said that, the third parameter that would take into, God has given us a family, God has given us a society, God has given us a company. Why? Is this because we can do everything ourselves? Or is this because He wants us to take help of others, and when we take help of others, to deliver whatever is possible for our success and our happiness? So 3 things that I have talked about so far. We are perfect. We have a natural tendency to be happy and successful. We live in a society, we live in a family, and it is a give and take relationship that makes us happy and successful. And third is our behavior. Since we are all individual, our behavior is perfect. We are perfect. Only thing is, when we move into negative forum, when we move into negativity of life, we create misery for ourselves. So before I start the topic, or rather move in for communication, again, let me tell you, people have inborn qualities. People have inborn qualities, and the inbornness is what makes them individual. We will try to change ourselves through our will. We will do a greatest blunder in our life. So let's look at what are those individual traits that we have to look in for. Rees did a lot of exercise, a lot of work, Dr. Stephen Rees, and he came out with 16 core desires that are there for anyone in the world. And he talks about acceptance. People have a great desire for acceptance. They want to be included. In one of the programs, they leave you and you see what happens to you. Someone says no to you. How is that possible? I did everything possible for that man, and today he has the guts to say no to me. Then the second one is curiosity. Someone is very curious, someone is non-curious. Third one would be eating. Someone would live to eat, someone would eat to live. Isn't it? Then his family, there are a lot of people who will die for their family. There are a lot of people who would say, okay, family is there. I have my own, 9 to 9 and 9 to 10 job. And he will make, if I don't work so hard, how can I make you survive? There are a lot of people I know who have, given up very good jobs to take care of the family if they have a disabled child or if there is some problem. Some people live for honor. They will not do wrong things. For them, life is all about being straight. There is nothing grey. Either it is good or it is bad. There is nothing grey in this. No, good or bad. Others are ideal. They fear God. They will not do dishonesty. Few people are independent. They sit quietly, do meditation, try to do an R&D work. Some people are interdependent. Similarly, you have order. Someone is very neat, nice, neat and clean. My wife, she comes over here, you find her absolutely neat and clean. Opposite to her, I am absolutely disorganized. Then you have physical exercise. Early morning, you will find people jogging. On the other hand, you will see, Bhagwan ne sone ke liye time diya, let me sleep for some time. Similarly, you have saving. Someone would like to save, someone would like to, let me enjoy what is there to save. When time comes, we will see. These are inborn qualities. Out of them, 2 or 3 would be a dominant quality within someone, and 2 and 3 would be below average with people. Now when you get to this, what happens, what happens, I want power. I want to be dominated through power on one hand. Someone who is not power hungry, they would be, laid back. Someone want to be very, want to eat a lot, go in this restaurant, go in that restaurant. Others would be happy with a good, handsome meal with them. Now here the problem starts. The problem starts over here. We as an individual, one, we have somehow or the other in the blank slate concept, we have been given to understand that if you work hard, if you work smart, you can be anything possible in the world. My question to you is, there have been many center of excellence throughout the globe. How many of them have actually become Einstein? Other hand, a kid is there, he wants to be an artist. Romance is in the air. Honor, idealism is looking in for. No. You are, or I am, a man of order. I want him to go to engineering. Poor guy. Neither he becomes a good engineer, nor he becomes a good artist. Throughout your life, the only person what he will talk about, I live a life of my father, and he doesn't know thereafter what to do. See, these are all communication games. We are talking about communication. We only talk about word to word. There's a communication from heart to heart. There's a communication from intellectual to intellectual. You go and sit for a satsang. What happens? One superior mind controls for that 1 hour, 2 hour, the entire crowd of 5,000 people, and all 5,000 people are listening like this. So what is the kind of communication that we are looking at? We'll go a little deeper down into this. Physical communication, emotional communication. We bribe our kids very much, and kids hijack us, knowingly or unknowingly. Then there is a mental communication, and there is something known as spiritual kind of communication. You get up early in the morning, and what happens? Now you are in the bathroom and suddenly you get an idea. You were looking for a solution to a problem, you didn't get a problem. You didn't get a solution. You were looking for an idea, you got an idea, and you worked on the idea, you got the results. So, as far as we are concerned, we are individual with personal traits unlike anyone in the world, and naturally born for happiness and success. And when you are happy, what happens? You have a healthy, wealthy mind, body, soul. So, how do you make sure that you are successful, you are happy, as well as you have a healthy living and a healthy being? Till now, have I made it clear that for healthy being, you have to have a healthy thought, you have to have a healthy feeling, and you have to take care of the society in such a way that you win, others win, you are happy, others are happy. It's a two-way express highway. It's a long-term game that we have to play. Now, in the playing of that long-term game, if we are interested, we will move forward to look into who we are and how does it. We'll come back to this, don't worry. Who we are and how do we get it. God, who has made us, as I told you last time also, is the same engineer who has made the earth, is the same engineer who has made the sun, is the same engineer who has made the galaxy, and the precision is into 1/1,000,000th of a second. So he has made us. So let's look at how do we as an individual who came to this world laughing. Bacha, he laughs a lot. He came to the world laughing. How do we continue laughing and being healthy, successful and happy? Simple. Is that clear? Any questions so far? Okay. The first thing, and this is the 7th time that I am talking about, realize that I am an individual with unique traits and personality. My colleague is an individual with unique trait and personality, and maybe his values and my values may not match. Create an atmosphere of love, respect, faith, and belief in your communication with anyone that you have. Respect your purpose and respect the individual that is there. Individual who is different from you on the value traits. Therefore, first and foremost thing that we talk about is understanding ourselves. As I said, who we are. What are the traits that we have? What are the few of these values which are dominant values within us, which just makes us behave the way we want to behave? And believe me, these are all sanskars, very difficult to change. It has been inborn with you, so it's difficult. So what are those values which are dominant in you? Look into what is your purpose of life. Look into what are the purpose with which are you going to communication. Create an environment of love, respect, belief and faith. Now let's go into the transaction or the transcendence. Why do we get stressed up during communication? Have you ever seen a normal communication starts slowly, the voice gets raised, isn't it? Someone will start shouting, the other will keep silent. In a meeting also you will see that there is a meeting, no one, only two people talk. People keep quiet. When they go out, they talk all in different things about that place. We have a doubt in school and college. We are afraid to ask. Agla kya kahega? What will others say? We have a problem with our wife. We blackmail her by not talking to her for one night. All kind of manipulations we keep on. We are expert manipulators. And we manipulate it either through violence, or we manipulate by keeping silent over there and playing the game behind it. In both these circumstances, what happens? In both these circumstances, what happens? What is going into your internal mind? What are you thinking? You are thinking that you have been cheated, you have been played foul, that you are not getting your right. And then what happens? We have come to a stage, and then the 3 role comes in through our behavior. 1, if we create the environment of love, trust, faith and belief on one hand, and we give others an opportunity, we respect their mutual understanding, we respect their purpose in life, We don't force our purpose into them. We want to have a collaborative purpose. What happens? You are happy, he is happy, you help him, he helps you, and your growth is by inclusion. You laugh, you smile, you party, and since there is a growth and happiness, since you have been successful, what happens? Success is like cough and cold. It also spreads very fast, contagious. So I am happy, you become happy, you become happy, you become happy. Every one of us are happy. Similarly, on the opposite side, we have created happiness, we have known each other, we have had a collaborative kind of purpose. So with that collaborative kind of purpose that we had, what happens? We have given a mutual respect to that person. We have taken his contribution, his dominant values we have pulled in. I also had few dominant values. What I had, I did mine. What I didn't had, I pulled in someone. And we created a team. And that is why God has given us family, God has given us society. You will not have everything with you. If anyone thinks that they can have everything possible in the world all alone, he's all a big surprise. So, how do you bring people in inclusion for your success, for your happiness, is only possible when you give him success and you give him happiness. Making some sense? Huh? Okay. Now let's go to the second road. This road will take up upstairs. Now the second road will take up, there is a fear. I am power hungry. I will not allow you to do anything. You should do whatever I talk about. A small little thing I get angry. Lot of fear, anger, disbelief, suspicion. If we play golf, they play tennis. What happens? We come under tension. We come under tension. We want to win at any given cost. And when we want to win at any given cost, what happens? We do not respect the other individual and his inbornness. And when that poor guy tries to give him his suggestion, we try to jump like a tiger and say, hey, you keep quiet. I know everything. Follow me. I have been successful. If you want to be successful, you follow me. His inbornness will not allow him to do that. Please, your kids, your son, your daughter-in-law, whoever it is, they will respect you and they will keep quiet. But inbornness within them will make them revolt. If they will not revolt, at least they will be sad. And then the God-given face that they had, which was all about happy and joy, they become grieved. They eat, in their own room. They don't want to come out on the dining table. Suddenly, till yesterday, they used to play. They are now on their own in the small little. In Mumbai, you have 4x4, 3x3 cubicle is there. Small little things happen. There is a stress. They go in to eat all kind of sleeping pills because the stress level are moving. And as I told you earlier also, the mammalian brain, the basic brain that we have, the basic brain will teach us only two things: either fight or flight. Isn't it? We will either fight or we will flight. And in this game of flight and flight, both of this has their own kind of tension, has their own kind of reaction. And now we will move a step further. We were all prepared for a crucial conversation. We knew that this conversation, I had borrowed 50,000 rupees from him. It has been now 7 years I am not repaying him. So naturally he is going to ask. And if he is going to ask, I am not so easily going to give. So now the conversation, he is prepared for the conversation. And what happens? When the crucial point in the conversation comes in, we are all prepared that we will be calm, we will be quiet. But Allah, something happens and either we break out, we start shouting, we start showing our, animal qualities, or like a sheep in front of a lion, we keep quiet. What happens in this? There's a beautiful thing what happens. Over your kidney, there are two glands. Can someone tell me what's the name of the glands? Adrenal glands, which when you are either flight or fight position, what happens? They secrete juices for you to either fight or flight. See what happens over here. Remarkable things. Doctors won't talk about it. But remarkable things happen. Your brain, which is doing a multifunction, suddenly, your heart pumps blood into these glands for you to survive. Your brain gets less of blood and therefore you are unable to reason out. Your neocortex stops functioning because it doesn't have enough food to it. It doesn't have enough oxygen. It doesn't have enough blood. And you fight or you flight. And in both of these things, what happens? You lose a lot of free energy that you had. Free energy that you had, which was required by you for your success and happiness. This happens once, this happens twice, this happens thrice, and then your heart comes to understand. There are two things which happen. Then you start behaving from your ego and subconsciousness, and both of them are not in your control. Remember, Patanjali has opened his sutra by saying structural defects of mind are two: ego and ignorance. When you start talking out of your ego, and when your subconscious mind takes you, subconscious mind know, okay, when the conversation is being little crucial, breakthrough, temperature is rising, voice is rising, you speak normally, but suddenly there will be, your pitch will go up, and it knows when the pitch goes up, it starts sending blood to the other part of the body and not to brain. So what happens? We all know that so many people have had a heart problem, had a cardiac arrest when there were fight going on. This is a known fact in medical this thing. But why? Because your adrenaline glands are taking away all the bloods required by your brain. Am I clear? Okay. Now, having gone through the background, let's look at what should be the recipe. Because the topic says healthy living. So what should be the recipe of healthy living? And the recipe of healthy living is, as I told you, start from yourself. Understand who you are. Understand what is the motive that is actually pushing you to do those things. It's very difficult for you to change yourself. Very difficult to change your inbornness. You are challenging God. So what happens? Look, when you are aware of that, then look at what are your strengths. Look at the crucial strengths that you have, crucial talents that you have. Look at the crucial dominant values that you have, which will make you great. Simultaneously also, look at what you don't have to go there. If you are looking at your strengths, also look at your weaknesses, or also look at the gaps. I wouldn't say weaknesses, but the gaps you have which is not allowing you to be successful. There is a question in Bhagavad Gita during the Mahabharata time. Arjuna has asked Krishna that, if I move into the path of spiritualism, it shouldn't have, that if I am not there for a long time, or it is not my natural behavior, like a cloud, as a air takes away a small cloud, all his current is washed away by the air in the world. This is the question. And there he has answered this question, that wherever you are, start from your natural swabhav. So look at your swabhav, look at what is in you, and that comprises both your strengths and the gap that you have for your natural happiness and success. Success and happiness is natural to all of us. God only tests us whether He is capable enough for the next higher of success, and therefore He gives a small little problem. All those problems are testing problems. It's like a driving license, You go to an RTO to see whether you are able to drive, then they give you a big car. Otherwise what happens? You will smash the car, you will smash few people. There was a car earlier, there would be a car later than you. Only thing is, we have been tested whether we are capable of driving the cars. So small little problem will come, but those are your testing problems. Those are the problems that you have to really test and move ahead. So, number 3, One, you know what are your strength. Other, you know what is your gap for your happiness and success. Third is, you have to look in for how do we bridge this gap. We try to close the gap. We try to do extra hard work. Nothing happens, sir. I also tried working very hard, nothing happened. So you look at what is that you have to bridge the gap. And therefore, you have to know what your purpose in life is. You have to know what your purpose at that particular moment is. During that conversation, you have to know why have you come here. You have to know what is the strategy that you are going to apply. Is that a strategy of love, faith, respect? Or are you going to look at belief? Or you are going to look at a strategy of hatred, jealousy, sarcasm? What is the strategy that you are going to look in for? On one hand, what is the time frame and the space that you are going to give it? On the second hand, as I told you, you have to look in for who is going to bridge the gap. Look in what are the possibilities of whom we are having communication. What are the possibilities for him to bridge that gap, which your inbornness is not allowing you to do. Which your inbornness is not allowing him to do. Let him bridge the gap. Never try to close the gap, it will never happen in life. It's something like this, you know, you put a small little KG girl in an MSc class, she will neither do, you know, KG nor be able to do MSc. It is the inbornness of these people which makes them do whatever it is. Part 1. Part 2. Know the people. Know, respect them. Respect their purpose. Respect their purpose. Respect their individuality. And bring things in open. Announce yourself that look, we are going to be in this communication. Yeah, things might move up and down. Please don't care. Because I believe, I trust, I have faith in you, and we are going to be successful. Now, people say, you know, when we go into communication, his purpose is different, my purpose is different. Our purposes are not different, our strategies are different. We also want, you know, the company that we are working for, we also want the company to be successful, our house to be successful. He also wants the same thing. He is taking a different strategy, you are taking a different strategy, and what happens? This is a cross building of cross collision of the strategies which makes things move up. Sit down. Ask for why are you doing this? Ask yourself why I am doing this. And like a triangle where you have two bases, look into the middle part and see what is there for me to win, what is there for him to win, and move a win-win kind of strategy. Probably it will be more than your strategy. It will give you better results than both individual strategies. What happens? A small little growth you have, a small little success you have, again do it, build a pyramid, and probably you won't be, you will be surprised actually to see how successful you have been in the circumstances by inclusion of others, Breakthroughs are not individually, breakthroughs are with people. In the society that we have, breakthroughs are with people. Employ your people. Try to close the gap that is open within your inbornness and move ahead. Now the last question that comes in. I have some time, no? When time is there, up. Huh?
20 minutes, sir.
Okay. Now, where do we start our communication from? Where do we start our communication from? Should we have our communication from mouth? Should we have our communication through our body? Should we have a communication through our mind? Or should we have a communication through our heart? Look into the situation, but always look into putting yourself, committing yourself, through your heart. Commitment comes through a heart. Your father doesn't love you through your mind. The day he starts, then there's some problem. But till the time he loves you, through your heart, is wonderful. The base of all this thing is from the heart. Remember our basic chakra? The base chakra that we are, that is for everything, material of the world. We move up, it's all about drive for power. We move a little up, it is a drive for love, affection, growth. We move a little up, it is all about having relationship. We move a little up, it's all about your vision. You move a little up, it is all about your unity with the world to come. Your unity with the world to come. But when we are looking at, the power center from where we are acting, we forget that along with the result you also have relationship. You can be a very taskmaster, but if you don't take care of the relationship of an individual, of the person within the task, what happens? The person leaves you and says, "Thank you very much, you're nice, but I think I have a better place to go." However, when you're very, very relationship oriented, what happens? Your task never gets fulfilled. So when you're looking at that communication network where you can maintain your task on one hand and get your relationship on the other hand, in your natural inbornness of your being happy and your being successful, along with the people that you are working with, looking at your own gap, looking at your own strength, looking at the gap of others, looking at their strength, creating an atmosphere where everyone loves, everyone is open. They are there, they bring in data into the information pool. Your pool is full of data. Imagine the kind of decision that you would get and the kind of orientation towards tasks that you will have and the kind of orientation towards your relationship that will have. And your enhancement of natural happiness and success that will come in within you and your people along is, the bliss that we can experience in this world. And when you're looking at these communication things, we have to look into, allow others to, become a little more initiative. Tell them to do little research and bring down his data into the pool. I told you, inclusion is the name of the game. Allow him to advocate himself, to put his views forward, to put his suggestion forward. They might be younger than you, but only thing, remember, they are as intelligent as you are. Only thing, they came to the world little later than you. Maybe of no fault of theirs. So if they are as intelligent as you are, tell them to put their data into the pool. There will be conflicts. Conflict is bound to happen. Now, either you can pull him or you can push him. Collaborate with him or make him so fearful that he runs around. Remember, why people don't pool their information? They have information. Not many times we go to meetings, we have seen people, they are very intelligent, but they will not put their bit in the meeting. After the meeting they will talk about everything, but not in the meeting. They are fearful. Boss kya bolega? What will my colleague will talk about? So, resolve the conflict in a win-win situation. As an adult to adult. Not like a child to a father or a father to a child. Make him grow up. Like any child who now tries to have a baby steps, he or she definitely falls down 5 times, 10 times, 15 times. But after some time, when they run, none of us can catch them. Allow small mistakes to happen, because if you do not allow small mistakes to happen, there will be larger mountain mistakes which will be very difficult for you to rectify. Don't react. Be proactive. And my last suggestion to you, as far as creating this thing, is let everyone give a feedback. How many of us have taken feedback and how many of us have given feedback? Though we say our acceptance, majority of people, our acceptance are very high. So what we think, Adi, if this guy gives me a negative feedback or he embarrasses me, what happens? And therefore we don't take feedback. And if you don't take feedback, how do you know what your strengths are? How do you know what your gaps are? If you don't take assessment, how do you know who you are? And when you don't know who you are, and especially in the time where the complexity is very high. In our older days, life was good. Read one paper and you would be able to service your clients. Today, the complexity has so much increased, so many players have come into the play. What happens when you are communicating with the outside world? You should be knowing as to what the complexities are. And if you are not knowing what the complexities are, what will happen? You will start believing that, I am great. Your ego will move up very high. Your ignorance will put a curtain on you, and therefore start taking feedback, start giving feedback. Take feedback from people, give feedback to people, and see the beauty of it is especially when you have a lot of data. Probably youngsters get 100 mails, Facebook, LinkedIn, Orkut, God knows all what it is. They're always there, so there are a lot of data. So how do they know what is the noise and what is the data? How do you know what is your noise or what is your data? How do you know that you are not being hijacked by one or two dominant behavior of others and you are not allowing others to perform the way that they ought to perform? My dear friends, you will be thinking that I am teaching management over here. I am not teaching management. I am teaching it. All this leads to stress. All this leads to, your blood being sucked out for some other activity, but not going into your neocortex, not going into, in your middle part of your brain, for you to love, discriminate what is good and bad, look into whether you are doing harm to someone or you are allowing that someone to be what he or she is. And the wonderful thing, that we have, and the ego plays a very important role. The wonderful thing that we have is, learned helplessness. You see, in this situation, if I wouldn't have had yelled at him, or I don't have had raised my voice, this guy would not have listened to me. Ask that guy. He will say, "Chalo na yaar. He is a little aged. Sun lo na, kya antar padta hai? Karna to apna hi hai na. We have to do what we have to do." My dear friends, therefore, do not allow your ego and your ignorance, your subconscious mind overrule you, so that you move away from your natural mode of happiness and success to unnatural mode of misery and misery. So you have to look at your feedback. Give feedback, take feedback. So in any project that we do, after the project is over, you can have a small little project. Your sister's wedding, that's also a project. My own kind of thing is, people go to the wedding wholeheartedly. They spend a lot of money, a small little thing, and they fight, and then they come back. And they remember the fight 20 years back. No, they still remember the fight which happened 20-25 years back. They will quote it. That's the power of ego that we have. Don't allow yourself to move into that arena. So, now that you have given the feedback, you should look into the situation of a conversation. Conversation, breakthrough conversation, stress conversation never happens like that. Majority of the time we go for a natural conversation, and then over a time some sentimental topic comes. There is a discussion, there is a conflict, voice raises. So the first thing, and people start moving out, the first and the foremost thing that you have to look in for, the situation. The situation is both in terms of the words that come out, and the pitch of the conversation that happens. When pitch is more, or